Hey guys, and welcome to part one of my newest sketchbook. I'm not finished it yet, but I figured I would go through half of it. Maybe, yeah, around there. And just show you what I have so far. So on the front here, this is a Polaroid of me and my best friend. And this was actually before, like during her engagement photos, and then we took photos ourselves, so it's pretty funny. So on the front here I have some swatches. These are my Neo colors. I had just gotten them at the time, I think. And then my new acrylic Holbein gouache. So I haven't used gouache very often, but every so often I dabble with it. I find it takes a lot more effort than using watercolor or markers or other tools. So I started out this book by being inspired by Sophie McPike. So she had like a draw with me life drawing kind of thing. So I tried to fill up the pages. And then she also had like a cabinet of curiosity video. So these are all on her YouTube if you're interested in looking at them. So yeah, I just did some moths and a key, some acorns and leaves. And I wrote, I'm feeling so very frustrated trying to draw in the office, but Sawyer is so loud. Yeah, sometimes that happens. My bird is very loud and then I feel very annoyed. But this was still from the Cabinet of Curiosities. This was with a drawing group I have, which we go out sometimes when we go draw together. So that's super fun. So this was just drawing a couple random people that I saw, and these were photos of some of the people there drawing away, and he was drawing me, which was pretty fun. And this was a new pencil extender I got from the dollar store, and then I had brought my cute little mug with me because I guess I just wanted to use it, so yeah. And then I had gotten a new pencil case at the dollar store, so I just drew that in. Here's some of the plants. There was a plant wall right beside us because we were in the mall, and yeah, it's really pretty. I love that they added that. And then this was a random person. Didn't really love that, but that's okay. And then a couple other people, which also were This was a cool pen that one of the ladies I was drawing with had, so I just tested it up. And this was, I think this was still at the mall drawing. Yeah, I just looked at some reference and then drew that. And then I was just writing about booster packs for Lorcana. They were $16 each at this one store in the mall, and I was like, wow, that is terrible. And then I found it at Toy Traders for $7. So I was like, wow, okay, this is a way better price. This was doing an urban sketching class at City of Coquitlam. So we had like a buildings exercise, so I was just drawing some buildings, and this was blind contour, so I was just overlapping the items on top of each other with different colors, which I don't know, I think it turned out pretty cool. These were just some of the items around me. I was drawing with my Pentel brush pen, which is right here, and I've actually grown very fond of this brush pen, which I originally really struggled to use, but you'll see later on I get into a nice flow of using it. So, and I just watercolored it and then added some colored pencil on top. And I was teaching a hand lettering class, so I was just doing some practice, getting prepped for that. This was when I went to 49th Parallel. I believe I was with other people. Yeah, my drawing group as well, so that was really fun. And I tried to keep kind of a cohesive color palette, which I think, like looking back at it, I really like. And then I did a little landscape, and I had bought some really delicious bread at a place in Vancouver, so that was cool. And then I just drew my art supplies, and this was a photo of us drawing at 49th parallel. That was cool. And then this was for my Skillshare class. So I just have some little doodles that I go through in the class. So if you're interested, it's on Skillshare. It's under, gosh, I forget the name right now, but I will link it underneath. Then we got this sweet little otter from Pinterest going on a quest. And then just some cool doodles I saw somebody else draw, so I just kind of did it for practice. And then this was a post on Instagram that said birds that look like they're twice divorced, and they all have these like massive feathers around their face. So good. So drew those. Some more hand lettering practice, some My Little Pony stickers. I think this was right around Valentine's Day, I'm guessing. Usually around Valentine's Day I get really into My Little Pony. It's the like whole sticker cute aesthetic. Yeah, and this was my bird. Drew with fountain pen with fancy ink. And then this is when I started to get back into drawing because I had stopped for a while. And then I was like, I need to draw again. So did some sketches with my Muji pen. And these are my plants that I had just gotten. They were cuttings from a friend, so that was awesome. One of them's growing. The fiddle leaf fig has grown a new leaf, which is very exciting. But the umbrella tree one is struggling, so. These were just practicing some whale sharks. I saw somebody else do it, and so I was like, I'll do it. And I don't know, it was okay. It wasn't my favorite. And then I was just practicing a whole bunch of borzoi dogs and cows and such. Some more here. And after I got some markers, I actually went back and added some color to it just to add some fun color stuff. These were Rapunzel sketches that I did during a art coaching one-on-one session. And I was just kind of practicing while they were. And some more dogs. These dogs are so cute. They're just like the cutest dogs. Anyway, so I went on a little bit of a borzoi spree. And then I started researching markers. And I was like, oh, markers would be so fun. And this was me, before I had the markers, practicing kind of what I would practice with them. So I just used colored pencil for that, but just doing like different products and stuff that were around me or that I saw on the internet. And then I started playing around with my Copics, which I hadn't used in a while. So I like Copics, but I just really hate, one, the smell, and two, how they go through the paper, like just fully destroying it. Which, like, you could just use the one side, but I don't know. I just wasn't really feeling it. So just practicing some kind of simple graphic designs by Dylan M. And then I got my sweet markers. So these are Ohuhu markers, and they're super cheap. So I got a pack of 100, I think. So I just kind of, yeah, put them all out here. Maybe it was 92 of them. So yeah, I had a lot of fun once I got these markers. And this was right around Valentine's, because I got these for Valentine's from my friend. And this was the bag of chips that my husband gave me in like a little heart because I can't do chocolate. And yeah, some tea, a mug, more markers, playing around with the different mixing colors you could get. They're not as nice for mixing as Tombows, but Tombows are so expensive, so it's not worth it. And then this was my tea, and I just did it all with markers and added some highlighter, I think. Yeah. And this was some cool writing that I saw in my mug, testing out with, this is just markers, and this is markers as a base and then colored pencil on top. Yeah, this was when I got really into drawing, and I hadn't enjoyed drawing this much for a really long time. So I just kept going. That's why I was like, do I go to bed or keep drawing? And then saw other people's art, and I was just practicing, and then drawing images off Pinterest, and then using markers to color it in, which that was really fun. I should go back to that because I really enjoyed it. And then some like graphic card designs, which I wanted to get more into but have not done for a while. So this is a good reminder to, you know, get into it. And then this was this cute cat that was rolled on its stomach. And then more graphic card designs. This one I love so much. There's also like a T-Rex one. I think it's a T-Rex, or maybe it's a tiger one, saying like, I would never eat you. So good. And then I just drew a Borzoi dog. It's not my favorite drawing, but that's okay. I like this one. I like my horse, which horses are difficult, but I was really enjoying drawing them that day, as you can see. I originally drew this one and didn't love it, so I covered it up with like a derpy drawing of a horse. And then I was just practicing some kind of graphic looking trees and branches and that sort of thing, copying from different illustration books. And then this was a picture of a horse online, so I started with marker and then just kind of drew the base in the soft marker and then went over it with my Tombow Furunosuke brush, or not brush, but pen. So at this point, I had gotten a book out of the library called Junk Wraith, and it was a comic, and I loved the art in it. It was just so, like, I don't know, there was like a freedom to the drawings that I really missed. So I started drawing some of these characters with marker and then filling them in. So that was really fun. And that kind of took me into drawing my own characters like that. And I drew Freckles with long legs. And I think I got into the mode of like, oh, I could draw her with long legs sometimes. But I did it for a little bit and then just never did it again. So I started doing a challenge, a prompt list. I think I only got to day 3, but still fun. So this was mug, so I wanted to make the mug look like a swimming pool. And then this was just a whole bunch of doodles. I was practicing other people doing it, some different hands to practice like the simpleness, looking at Adventure Time hands. Trying to find a style for Freckles with long legs. I liked this, but didn't love that. Yeah, sometimes I go through these kind of like, it feels like a crisis where you're just trying to figure out how to draw this thing so that it feels easy. So I did like this one and this one, and that started to feel more real, but basically like I don't have peace when I'm going through that stage. I feel like I'm like desperately trying to figure something out, and I can't stop and I can't rest until I figured it out. So anyways, that was what I was going through at this time. But then I started to feel it and get a good sense of how to draw Freckles with longer legs. So I think day 2 was shoes. Yeah, day 2 is shoes. And then I just drew my new Herbal Essences Curl Scrunching Gel. I was trying to work on my hair, getting it nice curly, which still haven't figured out, but we're working on it. And then some more marker drawings. And then practicing some graphic images again. This was by Lisa Congdon, and then this I just made up. Same with that. That was from the comic Jane the Fox and Me. And then little comics, Eyes Hungry, I Want to Eat Spring Rolls, that I made myself. And this was a new tea that I tried, which I am obsessed with this tea now. I drink it every single day. Very cheap too, so from Costco. This was day 3 was hair, so I was practicing different hair. It was okay. Not my favorite, but that's alright. And then I think a bunch of time went by. I didn't use this for a while. Or, I don't know, maybe it wasn't that much time yet. Anyways, so these were like some super quick landscape scribbles. I think you have like 10, 15 seconds for each or something. Like not a lot of time. And then I practiced drawing cars with just the marker as a base. I actually really like these. Yeah, they just feel fun and easy to do. And then practicing some different lettering with my markers, and saw somebody who drew this, so I wanted to test it out. And then I wanted to use more gouache, but I have a watercolor kit and I have white gouache in it, so if I mix the white with the watercolor, it sort of turns into gouache, which is cool. But this water brush I have, it just lets out too much water when I do that, so it's more helpful to use like a real brush. And more playing around with Sophie McPike stuff, really graphic. These were super fun. She did these beautiful illustrations with lily pads, and I think she did it all with like gouache or acrylic or something, and then added some textures on top. So I started with markers and then added colored pencil on top. And this was another one of her draw with me things. It was about Barbie. I started with this one and it just got progressively worse. And I was trying to make them look more whimsical and free, and it didn't do that. It went the opposite, so that's all right. And then this was when I went to a cafe called La Florette. I am sure I'm pronouncing that wrong because it's French. But my friend got this really beautiful looking croissant, and I was just practicing different designs, coming up with a design for my mom's birthday, like kind of a graphic looking one. And so I put different puns for the front. I will always love you. Oh, knit, I missed your birthday. Stuff like that. So I ended up going with I will always love you. So as you can see here, these are my sketches for how to lay it out. I ended up doing it on my iPad, but it was really fun to kind of test it out here. So then we get into portraits, and I started drawing some portraits with the small end of my markers. I don't love these, but you know, starting out, first practice. And then I started doing, I was looking at Gret Lusky's stuff. Her stuff is, oh my gosh, like her people, beautiful. So I started practicing noses and eyes, and then this I think I did with my Pentel brush pen, a couple of them, which is really cool because it gives you some really thick lines when you need it by just pressing down a little harder. So it does take a lot of control, but I think the results from using this looked so much cooler than just using a thin pen. So then I got really crazy with it. I really liked this one until I colored it. It looks almost evil and too intense. I wish I had left it or like gone with lighter colors. Anyways, same with this one, like I feel like there's too much shadow in it, or it just didn't balance out as well as I'd hoped, but I was really enjoying using that Pentel brush pen. So this was more practice, like look at those eyes, like I don't know, it just seemed like my people drawing went like from here to here, like as soon as I started using this pen. So it just gives a really cool look. And then these, I was at Opus, I was trying out Tombow markers that I possibly wanted because I want some lighter ones. The markers I have now are great, but they are very dark and bright, and I want some kind of lighter ones going on. So here was some more people. This one, she looks a little bit evil, like a vampire or something, which is not my favorite, but still fun to do. This one I liked, but I smudged it a little bit with the ink from this side. That's the thing about this brush pen, you have to like really be careful about letting it dry. And even then, like, yeah, I like to put like a piece of paper in between so that when it does press against the other side, it'll just go onto the paper, but I guess I didn't do that. So then I did some tigers and otters, which was really fun too. It really helped to draw it out first with light blue pencil and then add that over top. So I think I'm gonna stop there because I get into kind of a different style, different stuff. But thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for part 2. It might be a little bit because I want to finish the book. I still have this much to go, but at least that kind of lets you know what I've been doing for the first half. So thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment, and I will be back with more videos. Bye guys!